guys, good morning. Guys, art helps us to connect with the past, whereas science will take care about our future, but commerce will take care about our present needs. Taking a lively example, because of this amid lockdown due to COVID 19, we are able to survive in our house with net services, with our telephone uninterrupted telephone services, and your products have been available in your supermarkets. All these are done only because of commerce. The news which come to you is also commerce. So today, being back to our own and loving subject commerce, we're gonna start with a new chapter. So before starting with fresh, let us know the point where we actually stopped. We've been discussing about the division of economic and non-economic activities, and we have detailedly explained about our advantages and their disadvantages, at the same time their distinctions also. So what are the three types of economic activities is the question which I posed to you. So answers in your comments. I need not tell you every time. So your three types of economic activities is a business, a profession, and employment. So all through what commerce deals about is something called business. So today our main topic of discussion is nature and objectives of business. In this chapter, we're going to learn about various vital aspects of how to start up a business. At the same time, what are the main objectives, what is the importance of business, what are the types of businesses which we actually can start up. These all are the necessary things which we're going to learn today. So what exactly the word business is? So let's start with a vague answer, okay? Business means the person being busy. Guys, the dictionary itself says business means the person who is busy is known as a business. Like the person who engrosses himself in some busy work is called a business. And the person who is doing it is known as businessman. So leaving jokes apart, coming to the exact meaning of what exactly business is an economic activity. Guys, this economic word is vital, necessary, and plays an important role. Because the word economic means it deals something with money. So business is an economic activity which deals with production, exchange, sale, and distribution of goods and services in order to earn money. That is, in order to earn profits, in order to gain income. This is exactly called a business. Guys, production, exchange of goods, distribution, and sale. These four are the most important role which constitutes business. Guys, a regular or single transaction or an isolated transaction cannot constitute business. You need a recurring dealing of goods and services that comprises the total component called business. Guys, business is, it plays a vital role. At the same time, any person, any single individual can start up a business with little amount of capital, at the same time with large amount of investment. Every businessman has to start with 1 rupee and should gain more because he is serving to the public. Businessman and the total component called business is set up to serve the public in order to produce various types of goods and services and exchange with the customers and gain income from the customers to the businessman. This earning money from the customers more than the products expected would be called as a profit. So coming into definition and concept of business. Guys, business is an activity in which different persons sit and exchange various types of goods and also services. Why is it I'm stressing so much on called goods and services? Business doesn't only mean the products produced in a factory or an industry. It also defines services which is rendered to the customers for a profit motive. I could give you examples. Your Ola, your Uber, your Rapido, all these transport services, at the same time your food delivery services, these are not the products being produced in a factory or an industry for over a long period of time. This is an intangible service being rendered to you. Even this particular process and this particular activity is called as a business. Business is done not only for an income satisfaction and the perspective of a businessman, but also human satisfaction. you have so many wants. Guys, you remember this case like when this Maggi noodles were banned because of Chinese salt in it, and it is hazardous to health. And that time, people, after the ban was removed and after the food corporation has stated this Maggi is healthy to eat, then the business people again restarted their production, right? This is because there are so many human beings all over the India or all over the country waiting for in order to purchase this Maggi, because they got a clean certificate. It means that humans' wants have been increasing, guys. Guys, wants and desires are very much important, and they both are different also. There is a line of difference between what is exactly a want is and what exactly a desire is. Want is something which you actually want to possess with you, and desire is fulfilling your want is your desire. I told why they both are different terms is it is something which you actually have and something which you actually purchase. There is that line of difference between a want as well as a desire. Guys, your wants and your desires are set up on a price index as stated earlier that states the purchasing power of the consumers. And because of this price index, the businesses or all the factories or various companies which manufacture so many types of products, they are in an urge to produce more. Only it depends upon not that it's their self opinion. Okay, today I'll produce 1,000 units of noodle packets or any other type of products which is consumable to the public. At the same time, here it is not his discretionary power to produce number of units. It is our discretionary power, yours and mine discretionary power, because our demand is gonna be their supply. If our demand is high, then they start producing. That is, they tend to supply more. And at the same time, when the demand is high, sometimes the supply will be low, and when the supply is high, the demand will be low. So taking into consideration all the economic factors which actually have a greater impact over this business, the person who is starting up a business should have an idea about all this. Some people say that, and that's true also, that educational qualification is not necessary for a business. But once you're educated, it means that you have knowledge about various other laws which are working for the uplifting of your business. Guys, when you have knowledge, you tend to have so many creative thoughts in your brain. So that's the reason, and that's why we are learning business as a most important concept as a commerce student. So guys, as I already told, repeated dealings, not an isolated transaction, is going to constitute business. We are going to learn how this repeated or irregular recurring dealings are going to take place. So getting into what are the main characteristics of business, let us know what exactly business is. Guys, there are many commerce scholars who have defined what exactly a business is. But to our understanding and to our clear concept of learning about what exactly business is, we are going to learn about a definition given by B.O. Wheeler. B.O.W.H.E.E.L.E.R. We are going to learn about the definition given by W.O. Wheeler. He is a great scholar, and at the same time, he's generations have started business with the knowledge being shared by him. Guys, business is an institution organized and operated in order to produce various types of products and services to society under the incentive of earning profits. So this example is not this particular definition is not the simpler it looks. Because what is the first part states? It is an institution, organized as well as operated. Organized is you need to set up a business, you need to have a plan, you need to have a strategy formulated, you need to identify which type of product you need to produce. At the same time, is the product being produced by your particular business is differentiated with the other products produced in the same industry or not? You have to consider the risk factor, you need to consider the economic factors which have to be taken into consideration and operated. After all this planning takes place, you have to operate the business. You have to recruit the personnel. You have to, at the same time, hire so many people. You need to purchase new equipments and new machines, and at the same time you need to look that that is not hazardous to the people. Your location where you have to start up a business should also be taken into consideration. That's your first part. Instituted, operated, organized and operated. You have done planning, you're operating. Now to what? To render products and services. That is, to produce products, render services. Either as a product you have to produce there, or a service which you have to render. Then, as an incentive, why didn't they use the word called income or money? Because we as a consumers are purchasing this kind of product. Okay, and the each and every cost of the product which we are keeping and purchasing is an income to the business. But at the same time, that money, as it should come from a primary seller, I mean the person who is actually producing, to the consumer, there's a lot of transport between these two channels. So they have to pay all these people. You need to pay transport, you need to pay warehouse, you need to pay to the wholesaler, you need to pay to the retailer, and then it comes to the consumer. So this word exactly means incentive of private gain. So we are not directly telling that that's just for a money motive, but we are saying it's an incentive to make a private gain. So such a type of selection of choosy words have been set up here because business is such an important economic activity. So let us come back to know about what are the major characteristics which defines business. Guys, features or the characteristics mean the same. But the characteristics differ because sometimes they might be salient features, and sometimes this is the only type of characteristics which a business should possess. That is the importance given here. Guys, in commerce, each and every topic we're gonna deal, though if in the failure of the question being asked also, you need to mention characteristics. Because when you don't exactly know the verbatim given the definition, try to analyze it and conceptualize it in the form of characteristics, because all these features clubbed up called a definition. That's a small tip to you. So your first most important characteristic of a business is, any idea? Okay, creation of utility. Guys, how do you say utility is being created by a business? Business makes goods more useful to the public in order that they are consuming it and they derive a sort of satisfaction there, right? So here you have three types of utility. First is form utility. Form utility is when the particular product is transformed, like the product itself is not being fixed in a factory, right? You have raw materials converted into semi-finished goods, then into finished good, and that finished good is your product. So there is some transformation happening here, right? So that transformation of a raw material into a finished product is called form utility. That it is creating a form utility there. Then coming to your place utility. Place utility is, guys, like suppose I tell you I have an industry and the outskirts of Hyderabad, that is somewhere near Patancheru or Shamshabad. So I have to get those goods right from over there to the place where I'm residing, or to the place where the consumers actually wanted it. So that transportation of goods from one place to another is known as place utility. Then coming to time utility. Guys, suppose if I produce 1,000 units of goods and or products, I can't sell them all at once, right? I need to store them even for the future purpose when there is less supply, right? So in order to store them in one particular place called warehouse, that is the storage of these products produced in a factory for a longer period of time, is called place utility. It's called time utility, that you're storing them for a longer period of time. So for a longer period of time, it is called as time utility. Transportation of goods from one place to another is called as place utility. Transformation of goods, raw materials, into proper and finished goods is known as form utility. Your second most important characteristics is dealing in goods and services. Guys, every business enterprise are like starts up saying that these are the products and the services which we have to render to the consumers. It's the major objective of any type of business in order to flourish in a business market is it have to deal with goods and services. You can just say, see, I just wanted to start up a business which saying some random things, but there is nothing dealing with goods and services. Guys, goods here are capital goods or consumer goods. It might be your guns, it might be your police vest, or sometimes it might be your bread, milk, all this stuff. These all are goods. Coming to services, as I already mentioned, your transport services, your food delivery services, your intangible and all your invisible goods come under services. Guys, service facilities can also be considered as dealing in goods and services, because though there are various hindrances in trade, this should happen. You cannot give an answer saying that, see, there is a hindrance in our trade, so there would be no possibility of goods and services. Then that doesn't constitute a business. So remember, a business should deal with goods and services. So your third important is continuity in dealings. Guys, as I already told, a regular isolated transaction cannot constitute a business. Recurring and continuity dealing of goods and services deals with business. For example, suppose you have a car and you've used it for 10 years, and now that you wanted to sell it off. So you tend to post this advertisement in OLX or various other apps, or personally advertise. Then you get some consumer to buy that, some customer to buy that, and you are selling your car. This is having selling of goods and services. You have incentive of private gain. Is this transaction called a business? No, this transaction is not called a business, because you are just selling your car. Suppose you have a shop and you are selling all the old cars, then that is called a business, because you have a regular transaction of dealing with customers and selling your products. So that is business. So that should be the continuity and recurring in the dealing of goods and services. Then your fourth important characteristic is sale, transfer and exchange. Guys, what is sale? You are producing some products in your company and you have to sell them to the public for an incentive of private gain. For income, you're selling that to public. That is sale. Transfer. Your goods can easily be transferred from one person to other person, or you're rendering your services, it can be transferred from one person to another person. That is, you're giving to wholesaler, wholesaler is giving to retailer, and retailer is selling to customers or consumers, right? There is a transfer of goods, right? And exchange. Guys, in olden days, we have a system called barter system. How many of you remember this? Under barter system, there is exchange of goods and services given, right? Like you exchange milk and I give you a pot. So that is the kind of transaction which took place in our traditional days. But now, as a part of buying a particular product in a market, we are paying them money. So that is an exchange of value given to a product which they are giving in return. So that should be the process of a business taking place. Then your fifth most important characteristic is profit motive. Guys, all the businesses you are undertaking, the main reward which you get is profit. So all the businesses being comprising and constituted in a business market, the main motive should be profit motive. That you are working for the basis of income earned in order to serve the public for their satisfaction. There might be a personal satisfaction, mental satisfaction, or any type of satisfaction which a human being derives. But as a businessman, what is your main satisfaction? Okay, at one point of time, even you have a physical satisfaction and mental satisfaction, stating that yes, my goods are being consumed by the public. Your second satisfaction would be your money. The income which you earn is your second satisfaction, right? Then, element of risk. Guys, profit is the reward for taking risk, guys. In business, from the end to the beginning, risk oriented. Guys, you don't know when there is a fall in the economic cycle. You don't know when there is theft going to happen in your organization, or sometimes you don't even know when there are natural calamities which take place. So you have to be accepting the risk also with a positive ease. That is a good quality of a businessman. Then coming to your seventh most important characteristic, which is also included in your definition, is economic activity. That your business should be an economic activity where you are dealing with purchasing and selling of goods and services and distribution of goods and services to various customers and consumers in order to earn money. Your return is in monetary terms, not intangible things. Your last most important characteristic is business is an art as well as a science. Guys, do you know why business is called as an art? Guys, business is called as an art because it knows how to deal how do I say you? It is an art because it deals with public. It gets into minds of the people what they actually wanted and what they actually have to produce. It is a science because there are various laws governing it. Suppose we have business. So business is also there are particular characteristics, and if you adhere to all these characteristics, then your company, your organization, whichever you set up, is called as a business. So it is following some laws, right? That's the reason it's science. You know, there is a cause and effect relationship in science. Even here, the cause is your business, the effect is your income. Guys, you know, commerce links all mankind in one brotherhood of, I want an answer from you, of mutual dependence and interest. Mutual dependence is here where you tend to do something, you get something in return. So that is how important commerce plays in our life. Guys, there's an important quote which I recollect at this point of time, is given by Ratan Tata. He is a famous businessman. He says, in his all his quotes are very much inspirational, guys. He started his business with a single penny. Now that he is one of the billionaires right over there in our country, and his rule, his leadership, his motivation towards his employees or towards the people working for him is literally marvelous. He says, if you want to walk fast, try to walk alone. But if you wanted to walk far, walk together. You know how much self-explanatory the quote is? You know, that is even interlinked with a business concept. Guys, if you want to start up a business, try to earn so much profits, start it alone. And you know, you don't even have competitors there, and you don't even have sales at some point of time. But if you wanted your business to retain in the market for a longer period of time, then take in and recruit so many new people as much you can take, as much you can hire, as much you can have a capacity to pay. That's how Ratan Tata has built such a large empire. Such a large empire he have built only because of this particular quote. So stay tuned for the upcoming video where we are going to learn about what is the main necessity of starting up a business. So thank you.